What if I told you that one of the greatest presidents in American history failed again and again before changing the world forever? Most people would have surrendered after the first few failures. Many would have stopped dreaming. But one man refused to quit, even when life seemed determined to break him. Hello, my friend. I am Arthur Vale. Tonight, I bring you another forgotten story from history. This is the incredible story of Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln's story did not begin in a grand mansion or a wealthy family. It began in a tiny wooden cabin on the American frontier. Life was hard. Poverty surrounded him from the moment he entered the world. Nobody looked at that poor child and imagined he would one day lead a nation through its darkest hour. Yet history often hides greatness in the most unexpected places. Born on February 12, 1809, Abraham grew up surrounded by struggle. His family worked constantly just to survive. There were no luxuries, no comfort, and very little money. Every day required hard work. Every season brought new challenges. But while life made many children lose hope, young Abraham developed a habit that would slowly change the course of his future. That habit was reading. Abraham loved books more than almost anything else. Whenever he found one, he read it. When books were unavailable, he searched for them. When work was finished, he read. While other children rested, Abraham filled his mind with knowledge. Every page opened a new world. Every book planted a new dream. Without realizing it, he was building the foundation of an extraordinary future. Many years later, people would describe Abraham with one powerful word: perseverance. Perseverance means continuing forward even when life becomes difficult. And Abraham lived that word every single day. He faced poverty. He faced hardship. He faced disappointment. But he never stopped learning, never stopped trying, and never stopped believing that a better future could be built through effort and determination. Despite his love for learning, Abraham's path was never easy. Schooling was limited, and many lessons lasted only a few weeks each year. Most of what he learned came from his own determination. He borrowed books whenever possible and studied every subject he could find. While others saw a poor farm boy, Abraham saw something different. He believed knowledge could change a person's destiny. That belief became stronger with every passing year. As Abraham grew older, he began working many different jobs. He split rails, worked on farms, and even served as a store clerk. None of these jobs made him wealthy, but each one taught him something about people and life. He listened carefully to conversations, observed human behavior, and developed a reputation for honesty. Long before becoming famous, people trusted him because he always tried to do what was right. Eventually, Abraham decided to study law. The challenge seemed impossible. He had no formal legal education and very little money. Yet perseverance, once again, guided him forward. He borrowed law books, studied for countless hours, and taught himself the principles of justice. Day after day, page after page, he built knowledge through effort alone. what appeared impossible slowly became possible.
Success did not arrive quickly. Abraham experienced failure again and again. He lost elections. He struggled financially. He watched opportunities disappear. Many people would have accepted defeat and chosen an easier path. But every setback became another lesson. Instead of quitting, he learned, adapted, and continued moving forward. His failures were not the end of his story. They were preparing him for something much greater. Years passed, and Abraham slowly gained respect as a lawyer and public speaker. Crowds listened when he spoke because his words were simple, honest, and powerful. He understood ordinary people because he had lived among them. His reputation continued to grow. The poor boy from the log cabin was becoming a man capable of influencing an entire nation. Yet his greatest challenges still lay ahead. Abraham Lincoln's growing reputation eventually led him into politics. He believed government should serve ordinary people, not only the wealthy and powerful. His speeches attracted attention because they were honest and easy to understand. People trusted him. Yet politics was not an easy road. Lincoln lost several important elections. Each defeat hurt, but he refused to give up. Instead of allowing failure to stop him, he used every setback as motivation to work harder and become stronger. One issue deeply troubled Lincoln: slavery. At the time, millions of people were denied freedom simply because of the color of their skin. The nation was becoming divided. Some wanted slavery to continue. Others wanted it abolished. Lincoln believed slavery was morally wrong. His views made him both admired and criticized. Friends supported him, while opponents attacked him. The debate grew larger every year, pushing America closer to a dangerous conflict. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln achieved something many thought impossible. After years of failures and disappointments, he was elected President of the United States. The poor boy from the log cabin had reached the highest office in the country. Yet this victory brought new problems. Several states threatened to leave the Union. Tension spread across America. Lincoln's greatest test was about to begin, and the future of the nation hung in the balance. Soon after Lincoln became president, the American Civil War began. It was one of the darkest periods in the nation's history. Families were divided. Communities were destroyed. Thousands of lives were lost. Lincoln carried the enormous responsibility of leading the country through the crisis. Every decision mattered. Every mistake could cost lives. Despite the pressure, he remained focused on preserving the Union and protecting the future of the United States. During the war, Lincoln made one of the most important decisions of his life. In 1863, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring freedom for enslaved people in Confederate states. The decision changed history. Many celebrated it. Others strongly opposed it. Lincoln understood the risks, but he believed freedom was worth fighting for. Once again, perseverance guided him. He chose what he believed was right, even when the path was difficult. As the war continued, Lincoln faced criticism from every direction.
Some people believed he was moving too slowly. Others believed he was moving too quickly. Newspapers attacked him. Political opponents challenged him. Yet Lincoln remained calm. He listened carefully, considered different opinions, and focused on what he believed would save the nation. Leadership was not about pleasing everyone. It was about making difficult decisions when no easy answers existed. Despite the hardships, Lincoln never lost his connection with ordinary people. He spoke with honesty rather than complicated language. His words inspired hope during uncertain times. One of his greatest strengths was empathy. He understood suffering because he had experienced hardship himself. People trusted him because he seemed genuine. The poor farm boy who once struggled to find books now carried the hopes of millions upon his shoulders. In November 1863, Lincoln delivered one of the most famous speeches in history, the Gettysburg Address. The speech was surprisingly short, yet its impact was enormous. In only a few minutes, Lincoln reminded Americans of the nation's founding ideals of freedom and equality. His words inspired generations to come. Even today, the Gettysburg Address is studied around the world as an example of powerful and meaningful leadership. Eventually, the Union began winning the war. Years of sacrifice, determination, and leadership were finally producing results. Lincoln's vision of a united nation was becoming reality. Yet victory came at a tremendous cost. Countless families had suffered. Entire communities had been transformed forever. Lincoln hoped that once the war ended, America could begin healing and building a better future for all its citizens. Throughout his life, Abraham Lincoln demonstrated the true meaning of perseverance. He faced poverty. He faced failure. He faced criticism. Yet he never allowed obstacles to define him. Instead, he used every challenge as an opportunity to grow stronger. His journey proves that success is rarely achieved through talent alone. It often comes from the courage to continue moving forward when everything seems impossible. In April 1865, the Civil War finally came to an end. The Union had been preserved, and slavery was moving toward abolition. After years of conflict, Abraham Lincoln could finally see hope on the horizon. Millions celebrated the victory. The nation looked forward to peace. Lincoln began planning how America could rebuild and heal from the wounds of war. Few people knew that his remarkable journey was approaching its final chapter. On the evening of April 14, 1865, Abraham Lincoln attended a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. During the performance, tragedy struck. Lincoln was shot by John Wilkes Booth. The news shocked the nation. Families gathered in silence. Many could hardly believe what had happened. The man who had guided America through its darkest years was suddenly fighting for his life. The following morning, Abraham Lincoln passed away. Across the country, people mourned. Churches rang bells. Streets filled with grieving citizens. Newspapers carried heartbreaking headlines. For many Americans, it felt as though they had lost a member of their own family. Lincoln's life had ended, but his influence would continue far beyond his years. His story was no longer simply the story of one man. It had become part of history itself. Today, Abraham Lincoln is remembered as one of the greatest leaders in American history. His journey from a poor log cabin to the White House continues to inspire millions. More importantly, his life teaches us an important lesson. Success is not about avoiding failure. Success is about refusing to surrender when failure appears. Lincoln's story reminds us that determination can transform even the most ordinary beginning into something extraordinary. Before we close tonight's story, let us remember the word we learned together: perseverance. Abraham Lincoln's life reminds us that failure is not the end of the road. Sometimes it is only the beginning. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you enjoy stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and join us for more journeys through history. Until our next story, keep learning, keep growing, and keep turning the pages of history.